Hello, everybody, from home here on Lake Effect Radio Station. We're going to be interviewing with the Geauga Park District in just a couple of minutes. This is DJ Tim. I used to have a DJ name, I used to have a show name, I used to have all this fun stuff, but I have seemingly forgotten literally all of it. So we're going to play it by ear here. We'll play some music, and then we're going to see if we can make a connection with Linda, one of the naturalists from the Geauga Park District. In the meantime, we will play a couple of songs and see what we have to work with here today. Actually, I believe Linda is calling right now. One sec.
Call from
Linda.
Okay. I've sent the caller to voicemail. Goodbye.
Hi, Linda. Oh. The Google Voice doesn't seem to want to cooperate with me right now. So give me 1 second, and I will get back to it. All right. It's not showing me the full number here, but we'll try it again in just a sec. Six.
Thank you for calling Geauga Park District. If you know the staff member's 4-digit extension, you may dial it at any time, or press 0 to reach the Myers Center front desk. For park office hours and general park information.
I will have her call me back in just a second. We'll get going here.
Call from
Linda Gilbert.
Hi, Linda.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Linda?
Yeah.
Hey, Linda, it's Tim. How are we doing today?
Hey, Tim. Hey, good.
Sorry about the bit of technical issues. I'm still kind of trying to learn how everything works from home here. So.
Oh, yeah. Don't you love it?
Give me 1 sec. Here we go. So.
Yeah.
We are live. This is the first interview we have ever done from home with the radio station. So you are kind of a guinea pig.
The guinea pig?
Linda. So we may be a little bit shorter than the full hour that we usually do when we're all in studio. But we're
right.
See what we can do. We're gonna make it work, and we're gonna go from there.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so first things first, I hope everything's been going well with you in the park district. I've seen a couple of parks that you guys have opened recently. I know you don't have a list of questions for me for today, and I apologize for that.
No, we'll just wing it.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about some of the newer parks that you guys have out there. I saw you had Holbrook Hollows as one of the parks I was interested in. Can you tell me a little bit about that park in particular?
Yeah. In fact, I spent some time there this spring doing some poking around. It's not one of our parks that I was real familiar with. I visited that property before it became an official park, and I liked what I saw. And now they've developed it. There's some nice hiking trails there. That be prepared for hills, though. It's very there's some nice ravines there, so the trails kind of go up and down some of the ravine slopes. And but it's got a nice lodge there that is reservable. If you call the park, you can reserve that. There's a natural playground there for kids that have some interesting sort of Indian totem pole type poles there, and there's some things that they can climb on and have fun that way. There is a paved trail that's accessible that goes behind the lodge, makes a little loop, so folks with handicap accessible can utilize that and take a little walk or ride around that paved trail, which is nice. And and as far as the nature goes, I found some cool stuff there too, as far as insects and birds. So looks like it's a popular park. I see cars in the parking lot all the time there.
I've actually been to that park a couple of times myself. Those hills are a bit killer, but
Yeah,
but I'm also a guy who's kind of out of shape, so to speak. So,
yeah,
but if you're more in
yeah.
shape than I am, you'll thoroughly enjoy that park. Or if you're more in shape than I am, I should say.
Even if you're in shape, some of those hills are, yeah, they're
Now,
pretty good
I
for
don't know if
exercise.
you recall this, but some previous conversations that you and I have had through interviews, I've told you that I do geocaching, and that park actually has a geocache hidden by the park district itself. That's what
Yeah.
brought me to that park for the first
Oh,
time.
cool. Yep,
So,
we're still doing the geocaches.
yes, I'm thoroughly appreciative of you guys doing that. Fun fact: Lake Metro Parks currently is not hiding caches on their own account like Geauga is. So I find it nice that Geauga is doing that. But anyway, so
yeah, it's a nice park. I've been. Yeah, go ahead.
It definitely is. Sorry, that's one of the things with with us not being face to face. We're going to be talking over each other a little more than we used
to. Yeah, no worries. So anyway, but
I know that you're a naturalist with the parks. What exactly are some of your responsibilities as a naturalist?
So public programming. Doing hikes and programs for the public, and with the pandemic stuff now, we've had to sort of readjust how we present some of these programs, and so a lot of us, my coworkers and I, have learned how to be movie stars and movie producers because we've had to do a lot of digital, making little video clips and posting things on social media because it's been difficult under the restrictions that we're under to do in-person programs. But we have started doing those, and most of our programs now are all registration. So you have to call and register for those. So I do public programs. We do programs for school groups. We do programs for senior centers, and so everything from little toddlers up to senior citizens, and everything in between. So nature education basically is what I do. And on the side, I get to do some little research project type things too, like doing butterfly surveys or dragonfly surveys and things like that. So it's a fun job. It's never boring. I love what I do.
So you're telling me that part of what you do are programs ranging from toddlers to senior citizens. What kind of programs do you guys have coming up right now that people could register for? Or is there something going on in the parks themselves that people, other than getting out and enjoying the parks, is there any sort of like, hey, we need people to help look for like dragonfly, like any sort of studies going on right now?
So that falls more under our natural resource department, but I sort of kind of bridge those two departments occasionally, so I get to do some of that. So right now, as far as things for like citizen science, people that are interested in citizen science and volunteering for that, like my the bluebird box stocks. We have folks that monitor bluebird boxes in our parks that have trails, and so they're just wrapping up their season now. The bluebirds are finished, so I'm getting all of the data from them, and I got to collate all of that. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now that that we need help with, but I'm collecting milkweed seed right now because we use that to give away for some of our programs. We give it away when we do the fair. We just these past 2 Sundays did our monarch tagging programs at Froring Meadows and at Orchard Hills, and so we had it available there for people to take if they wanted to take a little packet of seeds and plant them. So so there's that, and then as far as upcoming programs, the new programs for October, November, and December, I think just went up on the website the other day. So I know we've got wagon rides that are coming up at Swine Park. But again, seating on the wagon is going to be limited. We're under restrictions, with the CDC stuff, and so seating is going to be limited with that. But we can still do those safely if people social distance and if they, if they're wearing masks. So we've been able to do things safely, and so those more strong wagon rides coming up. Those are October. 4 of them starting on the 7th. 2 weekends, 17th, 18th, and 24th and 25th.
Is there any sort of fee involved with those wagon rides?
Nope, they're free.
Cool.
They're free. Yep, it'll be from like 1 to about 5 p.m. I think the last ride goes out at 4:30. So. And then there's a homespun market days that's coming up at the beginning of October, the 3rd and the 4th, and that's also going to be at Swine Creek. There's going to be some locally produced and handmade items for sale. There'll be some live music, some food vendors, and we're going to do wagon rides at that too. So there's another chance for wagon rides on that first weekend in October, the 13th and 14th. So fun stuff coming up.
So the Swine Creek, I can't talk today. The Swine Creek Reservation, that park is located near, is it Middlefield, or is that
correct?
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So,
we have to head out to Amish country for that on Hayes Road off of State Route 87.
So
and
for those interested in that event, State Route 87 in Middlefield, heading out toward Amish country, Swine Creek Reservation. Actually, one park I've only been to once. I need to fix that.
Yeah, it's as far as the biology goes in our parks, that's one of our most biologically diverse parks. There's some really nice habitat there and a whole variety of plants and animals that call that place home. So it's a nice place to visit any time of the year.
Really nice ecosystem out there. I believe it's called Swine Creek, so there's obviously a creek somewhere.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of aquatic life myself. I like the fish and the frogs and that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, there's 2 nice ponds there where folks can do that. There's the pond by the lodge, and then there's Kildare Pond, which is actually where the homespun market days are going to happen.
Cool.
In that section of the park near where the sugar bush is. So anyway, so come and check that out.
So there was something else I was going to ask you about. Let me think about it for just a second. One of the parks that I've always been really interested in was Observatory Park.
Yeah.
That's the park that has, obviously, an observatory, based off the name.
Right.
That, I believe, you guys qualify that park as is it dark light park?
A dark sky park.
That's it.
Yep, that's pretty cool. We're just one of a handful in the world that have that designation.
So what does that exactly mean?
So there's some rules that you have to follow in order to get that designation, and a lot of it has to do with the lighting, because the sky, you can't have light pollution in the vicinity of that. And of course, Montville is a park that's out there in the country in Geauga County, so it's pretty dark. So there's rules for how you have to have the lighting around the buildings. Like if you've ever been there at night on the plaza, it's lit up, but it's all red LED lights that are directed downward. So red is not supposed to destroy your night vision, so that's why we use that. And then they built sort of like mounds of dirt, hills that shield the parking lot from the main plaza, so that you don't have car lights and stuff that are blasting you in the face when you're trying to watch the stars. So there were a bunch of rules, and Chris, our astronaut, could probably speak to that, what some of those rules are a little bit better. But so we were able to qualify for that. So we feel pretty lucky to have that park. It's very unique.
Also at that park, I've done a little bit of walking around that park in my day here, and one of the things that I've noticed is you guys have a couple of stone pillars just randomly located around the walking path. Can you tell us a bit about what those are?
Yeah. So the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, all right, we have the base of that pyramid marked in the big field out there with the 4 cornerstones. So when you stand in that field, you can actually see those 4 cornerstones, and the base of that pyramid takes up the majority of that field.
Wow.
It is amazing. In fact, we just led, Chris, our astronaut, and I just led a hike there for the equinox on Tuesday night. We had a quick little tour around the planetary trail. And so I was showing the people, explaining about that. And it's impressive when you stand by those things and look out over that field and see that. It was really incredible. So it was, So if you haven't been out there to see that, go see that, because that's pretty cool.
So I'm going to kind of flip gears on you for just a second. I know I've been bouncing us all over the place.
That's okay.
What is your favorite Geauga Park and why?
Oh gosh, man. Oh boy. On the top of my list probably is Froing Meadows.
Okay.
Followed by, can I give you like my top 3?
Of course. Yeah, top 3 is more than fine.
Okay, so I like Froing Meadows, and I'm pretty fond of the Westwoods, and I'd have to say Swine Creek as well.
Okay.
So Froing Meadows, because that was one of the parks that was new when I came on board with the park district. And so I kind of grew up, I guess, with that park in my time here. So I've seen it from when it was this flat field with no vegetation in about 2003 or 4, somewhere in there, 2003, 2004. And to watch it progress over, I've been at the park 15 years, and to see the sort of growth of it, the transformation of it from the beginning up to where it is now, with some of the nice prairie plants that have come in there. And then we have just found so many cool animals that we never expected. I mean, I never expected to find in Geauga County. And so it has been a great bird watcher park. When when it was a little bit younger than it is now, we had more exposed mud there. There were shorebirds that were coming through there. I mean, I saw a ruddy turnstone there. This is a bird that the last time I saw it was on the Atlantic coast when I was in college. But no, one year it showed up at Froring Meadows in Bainbridge, Ohio, which is not even near the lake, but these shorebirds were coming through there. Just this past summer, oh my gosh, I had a life bird at Froring Meadows. I happened to be there one night. I was helping a coworker with a research project that she was doing, and I had to turn on some electronic equipment there. So I was there in the evening, and I noticed along the paved trail that goes around the wetland that there's 3 or 4 people standing, and there was a spotting scope, and they're pointing, and I'm like, something's going on over there. so I go over there, and sure enough, there is this bird. It's a shorebird. It was called a red-necked phalarope, and people who are listening, you'll have to go Google it so that you can see what it looks like. But it's a bird that doesn't come here very often, and it was during migration. And it happened to stop at Froring Meadows for one day.
Wow.
One evening. It was the only day. And did I have my camera? No. I had no camera. Of course, this is when things happen. But I'm sure glad I got to see it. I mean, that, how often can you get a new bird on your life list? But there it was. Check from Froring Meadows. So that's why I'm rather fond of it.
No, I completely understand. I've never really been a big bird watcher myself. Like I mentioned before, I'm more into the aquatic life.
Aquatic stuff.
Into the bird life, so to speak.
Froring is a great place for aquatic life too. Oh my gosh, go there in the springtime. You'll have to maybe take your earplugs if you're very sensitive to the noise that is given off by the gazillion spring peepers that tune up there in the springtime. Really, it can hurt your ears if you're standing among them for any length of time in the spring.
I'll definitely have to make a trip up there. Of all the parks I've been to in Geauga, I've been to almost all of them. Froring is not one of them.
Well, check it out in the springtime because, oh my gosh, the amphibian racket is pretty amazing there.
I mean, we have somebody commenting in our stream chat on lakeeffectradio.org/studio. You might know this person. Her name is Sandy Ward.
I do.
She sent us a link for the redneck phalarope. I can't pronounce it.
Yes, phalarope.
allaboutbirds.org/guide/redneck phalarope. I got it. Phalarope.
Yep.
Okay, there we go. So she sent us a link. So if anybody's interested in learning more about that particular bird, the link is in our stream chat. Thank you, Sandy.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandy.
And if you have any questions for Linda, again, we're talking with Linda from the Geauga Park District about a variety of topics today. If you have any questions, you can always ask away in our stream chat at lakeeffectradio.org/studio. We do broadcast on Twitch and a couple other places, but we're mainly focused on Twitch today. Sandy says you're welcome, friends, for the link. So that works out perfectly. One of the other parks that I noticed relatively recently, again because of geocaching, was the Clarendon Woodlands. Is that the park? I know it's a newer park, but is that the park that's getting, I think it's zip lining or something in it?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So has the zip lining officially opened, or is that still on hold? What's going on with that? Do you know?
No, we ran our season with that. It's over now. But they did. Yes, we did do it this summer. It was registration. Again, pretty much all of our programs are registration now. It just has to be that way because of the limits with the numbers of folks that we can manage at one time for a program. And it worked out. So Trevor is our naturalist who oversees the ropes course there at Clarendon Woodlands, and he was pleased that the registration system that they did this summer worked so well. And so people, of course, had to do everything that was required to make it as safe as possible during the pandemic. But people were still able to have a good time with it, and so he had a successful season there. So yeah, I've looked at the ropes course, but I am not one of those people who will be. I'm too old to do that. But yes, they do. The zip line is the way that you get down from the ropes course. So
cool. There was another question I had, and this might actually sound a bit familiar to you. I know I keep bouncing all over the place, but I was looking at your guys' Ask a Naturalist site at geaugaparkdistrict.org/askanaturalist.
yes.
And I've always actually been interested myself on why white-tailed deer are white.
Well, it.
I know I'm bouncing you all over the place. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's all right. So that comes in the realm of the genetics thing as to why. But I can tell you that white in nature is generally a color that's associated with danger, because sometimes the last thing a predator will see, like especially with some hawks and things that are predatory, is a fast white flash.
Ah, okay.
So yeah. So when you're out in nature, I remember I had a naturalist mentor a long time ago who was always opposed for anybody on his hikes to have them wear white, because you stick out like a sore thumb, and it's a sign of danger. So he didn't want people wearing white on his bird walks. So what does a white-tailed do? What does a white-tailed deer do when it sees danger? The white tail goes up, and they run away. Yeah. So anyway, that it's but their coloring is due to how they're programmed genetically. But yeah, when they're in flight, that white tail is up, and you can see it waving. Because I remember one time I was in the woods, and there were several deer that were nearby. I did not see them until I stepped on a twig and it cracked, and all of a sudden I see about 10 white tails hightailing it through the woods in the opposite direction. I didn't even know they were there until I saw the tails. So anyway, it's just what they do when they're startled. It's like, we're out of here. See ya.
Well, I completely understand that. Like, don't you wish sometimes that if there's like a situation going on that you want to get out of, you just hightail it like the deer do, be like, I'm out, bye.
Right? You got it. It's that fight or flight response, and most of mostly the animals are going to flee if possible. It takes a lot of energy to fight, so fleeing is the better of the two choices for some. So yeah.
Definitely. Let me see. There was one more thing I was going to ask you about, and then I was going to wrap us up for today.
Okay.
I've always been interested in different things like purple martins, chimney swifts, and that sort of thing as well. Are those found anywhere in any of the parks?
Yeah. Well, chimney swifts in the fall, when they're preparing to migrate, will find a place to roost. And I can't think of any of our Geauga parks where they do that, because they need a chimney, preferably, to do that. But if you were to stand in the Berkshire High School parking lot around the first week of September or so, you could watch the bird tornado. They start gathering about dusk, and they'll circle the high school. They'll circle the building, and more birds join in. And so you have this huge circling flock of chimney swifts. Then one or two will make a dive for the chimney.
Okay.
And sometimes they will all dive in after those two. Sometimes, a little group of them will go in, and then a little while later another group will go in. But when they all funnel in there, it looks like this tornado just going right down the chimney.
Oh, wow.
It's very cool. Yeah. There's some places on Chardon Square, I think, where you can watch that spectacle as well. Yeah, that's a program. We didn't actually do our Chimney Swift program this year, but that'll be on the schedule for next September.
Cool.
So, yep. And what was the other bird?
Purple
What
martins.
did you say? Purple martins, yeah. So they already are on their way back to their wintering grounds. We're in the migration right now. Actually, bird migration starts in about August, where they
Really? Okay.
head back south. Yeah. So some of those birds, that we think that we call our birds, they're only here for a short time a year. They're spending the majority of their time elsewhere. So I was surprised, and I didn't really know this, I guess, until I started paying more attention, maybe because of just the nature of the job here, but that how early those birds start back. I was surprised. I just, I thought, well, October, November is when they're going to, but no, they start in August. So the purple martins are already, on their way. John Kolar, our chief naturalist, went down to Summit County to Nimisila Reservoir and saw the staging area for the purple martins. They come into the cattails to roost at night.
Nice.
And oh my gosh, he said it was quite a spectacle. And you can go there and do that. And this was just a few weeks ago that he went down there. So, yeah, I think that's something that's going to be on my bucket list. I didn't get to do it this year, but I need to go there and see that. So.
That sounds like fun to me too.
Yep.
Take a little field trip. I love being able to travel, but with COVID and the pandemic, I haven't.
Yeah, it's been different. Yep, it's been different. It's been surprising. We've done, we're doing virtual programs now on Zoom or WebEx. We're doing, and so yeah, I don't know if this is going to be, if this is going to be the way of the future. I mean, are we going to, is this disease going to always be around? This virus always going to be around? I mean, are we going to have to do these virtual programs now for a while? Who knows, But anyway, but it's nice that we can do them. I mean, it's another way that we can, do our nature education job. So we do.
It is amazing to think about the future of, like, everything, really. The future of programming for you guys.
Know.
The future of programming. To me, I think the future is going to look like virtual is going to be an option, but it may not be the only option.
Right.
So to speak,
Right. Yeah. Well, we all, I think, prefer in-person programs whenever possible. But really, the Zoom and the WebEx stuff, it's been okay for what we've had to do, and we've been lucky because we've been able to to stay working. So we're thankful for that.
Right. Let me see here. I think that just about wraps up for today, Linda. I want to thank you for your time with us here at the Lake Effect radio station from home. My first show of the fall semester myself. And it is also good to know that we're able to do Google Voice with no issues. I'm showing 0 drop frames, so life is good.
Good, yay. Well, I'm glad I was your first guinea pig.
We appreciate your time. You have a wonderful day. Again, we were talking with Linda from the Geauga Park District. Everybody, Linda, thank you again. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll check in soon, maybe sometime in October.
All right, sounds like a plan. Everybody stay happy and healthy. All right?
All right, thank you, Linda.
Take care. Thanks. Right. Bye.
So that was Linda from the Geauga Park District. We're checking in about a variety of things. A couple parks, kept jumping all over the place a little bit, but that's more than fine. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. Next week, we will be back probably a little bit earlier in the day, but rocking and rolling with some new content, new shows. We'll be talking sports. We'll see who all we got with us. Till we meet again, everybody. Later.